Hello mathematics students, this is Commerce classes. In the last class I have explained you about ratio and proportion basics. And I have explained in detail about ratios. In this class I am explaining about proportion. What is proportion? So proportion is equality of ratios. If two ratios are equal, this is called as proportion. See, I will tell you the example. Example, cost of 5 pence is rupees 60 and cost of 8 pence is 96 rupees. Then we can write the ratio as, how can we write this? Cost of 5 pence is 60, 8 pence is 96. So we can write this as 5 is to 8, 60 is to 96. Quantity ratio is 5 is to 8. Price ratio is 60 is to 96. What is the proportion there? We can say 5 is to 8 equal to 60 is to 96. So we can write this like this. This is the proportion. 5 is to 8 equal to 60 is to 96. So if this fraction is equal to this fraction, this is the concept here. So this is the proportion. Next, we can say that the above four numbers are in proportion. We should not change the order of the ratio. Order means you have to write 5 is to 8 equal to 8 is to 96. See, that is the 5 is to 8. Sorry, one minute. I can't remember it. 5 is to 8 equal to 60 is to 96. 5 is to 8 equal to 60. You should not change the order. First and fourth terms are called extremes. First and fourth terms are called extremes. See, first 5 and 96 are called as extremes. Then 8 and 60 are called as means. Once again I am writing 5 and 96 are called as extremes, and 5 and 96 are called as extremes. 8 and 60 are called as means. So this is the actual arrangement of a proportion. So see, here means 8 and 60 both are means. 5 and 96 are called as extremes. In proportion, there is if you multiply two extremes and if you multiply 2 means, the answer will be the same, 480. 5 into 96 equal to 8 into 60, that is 480 and 480. Based on this, we can find any unknown term. So how will you find this any unknown term? There are 4 terms here. If you know any 3 terms, you can find the 4th one. If you know any 3, you can find the 4th one. So this is the concept. Then what are the types of proportion? There are 2 types. The first one is direct proportion and the second one is inverse proportion. So what is direct proportion and what is inverse? Let me first explain what is direct proportion. In two quantities, whenever an increase in one causes a proportionate increase or decrease in the other, then the two quantities are said to be in the direct proportion. So there are 2 quantities. In the last example, for 5 for 5 pence 8 rupees, 60 pence 96 rupees, like that. If number of pens are increased, then the number of then the amount will also be increased proportionately. So this is called as a direct proportion. Once again I will repeat, 5:8 equal to 60:96. So this is direct proportion. So for 5 pence 8 rupees, for 60 pence 96 rupees. So this is the, as the number of pens increases, then the amount will also be increased. This type of proportion is called as direct proportion. So how this works, how this direct proportion works, let me explain. Quantity of and their cost, that is in case of pen, I have as the quantity of pen is increased, then the amount is increased. Days and products, if we produce 50 pens per day, for 10 days you will produce 500 pens. As the days increases, product will increase. Men and work, if 10 men produce 5 pens a day, then 50 men will produce 250 pens per day. That is the example, simple example. Time and distance, see, if you move in 1 hour 10 kilometer, in 2 hours you will move 20 kilometers. Fuel and distance traveled, for 1 liter it gives a mileage of 15 kilometer per hour. For 2 liter it will give 30 kilometer per hour, like that. Next, quantity and weight, if 20 apples weigh 2 kgs, if 20 apples weigh 2 kgs, then weight of 40 apples will be 4 kgs. As the quantity increases, then the weight will be increased. Length of the rod and weight, 10 centimeter of rod will weigh 10 gram, then 20 centimeter of rod will weigh 20 grams. That's all. So these are the simple examples for a direct proportion. How will you solve? I will solve the problems in detail in the next class, but still I will show you a simple example for this direct proportion. Total cost of 8 books is 72. Find the total cost of 13 books. See, as I have already told you, out of 4 we are having here 3, 8, 72, 13. How to write? Number of books is a list and total cost is another list. You write 8 books will cost 72 rupees, 13 books will cost. So here in case of direct proportion, you have to do cross multiplication. That is 13 into 70. So 8 by 13 equal to 72 by 8 books cost 72 rupees, 13 books cost x rupees. Then 13 into 72, this is cross multiplication. 13 into 72 divided by 8 will give you 107. This is how you solve a direct proportion problem. This is a simple problem. In future I will tell you, I will solve some difficult problems also. So then, what is inverse proportion? So next type of proportion is, here it is vice versa, that is it is opposite to the direct proportion. In inverse proportion, in two quantities, whenever an increase or decrease in one causes proportion decrease in the other. So if one increases, then the other will be decreased. Simple. And what are the examples for this inverse proportion? Speed and travel time. If you are driving at a speed of 50 km per hour, if you increase it to 100 km per hour, Then if it is crossed by 1 hour, it will be reached within half an hour. As the speed increases, travel time will decrease. As one increases, another will be decreased. This type of proportion is called as inverse proportion. Working days and number of workers. Working days and number of workers. One more example. Working days means if one man can complete a work in 4 days, two men will complete the same work within 2 days. As the men is increased, number of workers is increased, then the time is decreased, or days will be decreased. That is called as inverse proportion. Volume and pressure. Volume and pressure. So volume of certain mass of a gas, see, this is piston cylinder arrangement. So this is the pressure here, something. So here, once again I will explain it clearly. See, this is piston cylinder arrangement. So in your engine of a car or two-wheeler, whatever it may be. So here, if you decrease the volume, here you have the gas pressure, and as you decrease the volume, pressure will be increased. If one is decreased, then the other will be increased. Number of teeth and rotating speed. Number of teeth, and so this comes under mechanical section. Since still I will tell you number of teeth in a gear and rotating speed. As the number of teeth is increased, rotating speed will be decreased. So if one increases, then the other will be decreased. Is called as inverse proportion. Diameter of the wheel and number of rotations. Number of rotations we call it as RPM, revolutions per minute. Revolutions per minute is called as RPM. Diameter of wheel. If we take 20 centimeter diameter wheel, if we take 20 centimeter diameter, so if it gives a RPM of 500, if it gives a RPM of 500, if we take 40 centimeter wheel, it will give just 250 RPM. As the diameter of the wheel is increased, then the RPM is increased proportionately. So this is called as inverse proportion. I will explain you a simple problem regarding this inverse proportion. In a hostel, there is enough rice for 70 men for 20 days. If 30 more men join the hostel, how long will the rice will last? So for 70 men, it will be enough for 20 days. If 30 more men, means 70 plus 30, that is, if 100 people are there, then how many days it can be consumed? So this is the question. As the number of men are increased, then the rice will last for lesser days. See, let me tell you. Number of men and days, you have to make the list. Here 70 and 20. 70 for 70 men 20 days. For 100 men how many days is the question. So there, in case of direct proportion, you have done the cross multiplication. Here you have to do straight multiplication. That is exactly 70 into 20 divided by 70 into 20 divided by 100. See, 70 into 20 divided by 100, you will get 14 days. It will last only for 14 days. So lesser days, as the men increase, so in case of 70 men, it will last for 20 days. In case of 100 men, it will last for only 14 days. As the number of men are increased, one quantity is increased, then the other quantity will be decreased. So this is the basic concept of this inverse proportion. In next class, I will be back with some problems regarding both ratio and proportion. Thank you.